Be honest. You've probably dreamed at some point about how awesome it would be to just learn anything instantly. Like boom, you snap your fingers and suddenly you know how to play the guitar, speak fluent French, or maybe bust out a flawless backflip to impress someone at school. We've all been there. As kids, we wanted to learn stuff that made us cool. But as we grow older, our focus shifts. Now it's about learning things that'll benefit us long-term. Like mastering a language, picking up coding, starting a business, or just understanding the world better. But here's the kicker. Most of us absolutely suck at learning efficiently. And honestly, it's not even our fault. School trained us to memorize just enough to pass tests and then forget everything as soon as the bell rang. That's not learning. That's cramming. And cramming doesn't stick. Real learning? That's about understanding, applying, and retaining. It's about reaching a point where the knowledge is so ingrained, it's second nature, just like riding a bike. Now, think about the last time you tried to learn something new. Maybe it was Spanish, maybe you wanted to pick up Python, maybe you were trying to understand how investing works. Chances are you binge-watched YouTube tutorials, skimmed a few blogs, and read a couple of Reddit threads. And then, nothing stuck. Why? Because most of us are addicted to input. Watching, reading, listening, and allergic to output, actually doing the thing. It's like trying to learn how to swim by watching someone else swim. You get the idea, but the moment you're tossed into the water, you flail. Learning is a contact sport. You've got to get your hands dirty, or in this case, wet. Now, let me clear something up before we dive deeper. Not everything is equally important. Enter the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. It basically says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. When applied to learning, it means stop wasting time memorizing everything. Focus on the core, the essentials. Want to learn Spanish? Don't aim for 10,000 words. Master the 1,000 most common ones. They already cover 80% of daily conversations. Trying to play the guitar? Don't start with Metallica solos. Get your basic chords down first. Because once you master the essentials, everything else becomes easier. And speaking of mastering, there's one technique that skyrockets your ability to actually retain what you learn. It's called active recall. It's simple but powerful. Instead of rereading the same thing over and over, close the book and try to recall what you just read. Force your brain to work. It's the difference between watching someone lift weights and actually lifting them. Reading is passive. Recalling is active. And active equals growth. But let's add another layer, spacing. The spacing effect is a learning principle that's all about revisiting material over time instead of cramming. Studying for 6 hours straight on Sunday? That's cute, but not effective. Spread those 6 hours into 6 one-hour sessions across the week. Each time you revisit, your brain reactivates that info, carving the memory deeper. It's like hiking a trail. The first time is rough, overgrown. But the more you walk it, the clearer and easier it gets. Now, here's where things start to really click. You've probably heard of practice makes perfect, but there's a better phrase. Deliberate practice. Not just doing something over and over, but specifically working on what you're worst at. Let's say you're learning to draw. Don't draw the same anime face 50 times. Tackle what scares you. Hands, faces, proportions. That's where growth lives, in the discomfort. Deliberate practice feels awkward, but that's the exact zone you need to be in. And here's something most people overlook. Teaching. Yep, teach what you learn. Sounds counterintuitive, right? Like, how can I teach if I'm still learning? But that's the point. When you teach, you're forced to simplify, clarify, and organize your thoughts. That's the real test. Can you explain it to a 5-year-old? If you can't, you don't understand it well enough. Don't have anyone to teach you? Record yourself. Pretend you're making a YouTube video. Trust me, the pressure of imagining people watching you is enough to push you to understand the topic better. It's wild how well it works. And while we're on the topic of improving understanding, use multiple senses. Your brain thrives on variety. Don't just read Spanish words. Listen to them. Speak them. Write them. Watch Spanish YouTubers. The more ways you experience the material, the deeper it sticks. Learning isn't a one-lane highway, it's a multidimensional web. Engage sight, sound, speech, and movement. The more nodes you light up, the stronger the network. Now, I get it. Learning sometimes feels boring, but it doesn't have to be. Turn it into a game. Set small goals. Track your progress. Reward yourself. Compete with a friend. Use apps that hand out badges or give you XP. Dopamine, that feel-good chemical in your brain, gets released every time you achieve something. Use that to your advantage. But beware. The same phone that gives you progress badges can also derail you with TikToks and cat videos. So create a focused environment. Put your phone on silent. Close those unnecessary tabs. Because multitasking is a myth. Your brain isn't juggling, it's switching. And every switch burns energy. So do one thing. Focus fully. Then move on. Let's talk about rest, because this one's non-negotiable. If you're not sleeping well, you're sabotaging everything. Sleep isn't optional. During sleep, your brain consolidates memories, organizes information, and literally clears out mental junk. Cramming all night? You're forgetting half of it the next day. Study hard, but sleep harder. And while we're at it, take breaks. The Pomodoro technique is gold for this. Study 25 minutes, rest for 5. Rinse, repeat. Your brain works in sprints, not marathons. Let it breathe. Now, let's zoom out a bit. Mindset. This is the root of everything. If you believe you suck at learning, guess what? You will. But if you adopt what's called a growth mindset, the belief that you can improve with effort, you'll be unstoppable. It's not about saying, I can't do this. It's saying, I can't do this yet. That little word, yet, it's powerful. It moves you from fixed to flexible. All right, let's talk tactics you can use right now to learn better over the next 6 months. Set a clear goal. Pick one big thing you want to learn by the end of the year. Don't try to learn 10 things at once. Focus is your superpower. Reverse engineer the outcome. Let's say you want to learn web development. What do you want to be able to do by December? Build a website? Get a freelance gig? Work backward from that. Create a learning plan. Divide your goal into weekly checkpoints. Make sure you're doing a mix of input, watching, reading, and output, building, writing, teaching. Track progress publicly. Tweet it, blog it, post it. Let the world know. Accountability is underrated. Review weekly. Every Sunday, ask, what did I learn? What confused me? What will I fix next week? Rest and reflect. Your brain needs time to chew on ideas. Don't fill every spare minute with noise. Go on walks. Take quiet time. That's when the aha moments happen. And finally, don't forget to enjoy it. Yes, learning is hard, but it's also one of the most rewarding things you can do. You're not just gathering knowledge, you're growing. You're shaping your future. You've got 6 months left in this year. 6 months to become a version of yourself that looks back and says, damn, I really leveled up. So what are you going to do with that time? Are you going to scroll it away? Or are you going to learn something that changes your life? The choice is yours. And that's it. Not complicated. Just real actionable stuff you can do right now. So go out there and get learning. You've got this. Untitled project. Be honest. At some point, you've imagined waking up and instantly knowing how to do something awesome. No grinding. No all-nighters. Just boom, you can speak French, play guitar, code a website, or finally nail that one dance move from 2016 that still weirdly haunts you. Maybe when you were younger, it was about doing a backflip to impress your crush or mastering FIFA tricks to own your friends. But now, let's be real. Life's grown up a bit. You've probably got your eyes on stuff that actually matters. Skills that open doors, not just turn heads. Maybe it's tech, business, fitness, or a second language. But here's the kicker. We all suck at learning. Not because we're lazy or dumb, but because we were taught to memorize, not understand. Schools trained us to cram for tests and forget everything the second the bell rang. And guess what? That system failed most of us. Because learning isn't about regurgitating facts. It's about knowing them so well they become part of your muscle memory. The good news? There's no better time to start than now. Stop cramming and start learning like a machine. Let's get into it. Let's say you want to learn coding. What do most people do? They binge YouTube tutorials, watch 10 hours of Python basics, feel productive, then try to build something and crash hard. Like, error 404, memory not found as why? Because you're stuck in input mode, watching, reading, listening. But real learning comes from output, doing, practicing, even failing. It's like trying to learn how to swim from a book. You can memorize every stroke technique, breathing pattern, and safety rule. But the moment you jump into the deep end, you panic because you didn't practice. Learning is a contact sport. You can't absorb mastery through osmosis. You have to engage.